Good morning, entrepreneurs, managers, and all the teachers who are grooming these future power banks of the economy. We are going to be focusing on the business environments. That is our main topic, if you still remember. But within the business environments, our main focus is within the micro environment, the smaller part of an organization. Remember when you were in grade 9, there are two things amongst the whole lot that you studied. You studied about 3 different levels of management. That was the senior management, the middle management, and the lower level management. Keep that in mind. It's going to come very handy. We are also going to be focusing on the 8 business functions. But for the purpose of this lesson, we have only chosen 3 of those business functions. Which ones are those? Those are the human resources function, the production function, and the administration function. Right, let us move on. Before we start, there are certain concepts that might be new to some but known to the others. What are those concepts? 1, quality. What do we mean when we talk about quality in business? When we talk about quality, we talk about the degree of excellence. We talk about producing goods that are flawless, that do not have mistakes. We are talking about rendering a service that the client, the final client, is happy about. Remember, we said human resources. What is that? Human resources. Human refers to people. Resources refers to the supply. Now we are talking about the supply of people in an organization. In other words, if we want to have a successful business, we need to have enough human supply that is skilled enough to be able to do a particular job. Production. What is that? Very short. A process of producing something to make something tangible. Administration. We always call this the hub of an organization. This is a function that makes the organization what it is. It can either destroy or build an organization. And the new word that you often hear about, impact. Remember, that's a very important word that you need to know within business studies as a subject. The word impact in business studies refers to the positives and the negatives of a particular aspect. As we go on, you will learn more about how this word is used. But keep that in your glossary and make sure that you know that word. Let us move on. We are going to start with human resources. What is human resources? We said it is the supply of people. Now, what about people? And what is it about human resources that brings forth quality within a business organization? The objective of any organization, it is to make profit. Now, for a business to can make profit, you need to have a good supply of people who are knowledgeable, who are skilled, and who are passionate about what they are doing. Remember, the human resources, the people working in an organization, must be so good that at the end of the day, we are able to make profit. Do you still remember? Profit is the difference between the money spent and the money earned. For any entrepreneur, it is very important to make a profit. Right. Now, how do we know that these people that we have employed are skilled, are qualified? There is a process that we follow. It's a quality assurance process. The word assurance, what does that mean? It simply means that you are telling me that what you are giving me is got no faults. It is perfect. It is a value for my money. In other words, I deserve to give that in exchange of the money that I give you as a client. Now, let's go back to human resources. How do we know that we have employed the best? We will know that by certain key performance indicators. Now, what are the key performance indicators? Those are the little things that we are going to be looking at and know that people in the human resources department are doing their job. Let us move on. The management has a way, it needs to have a way in which it is controlling the human resources. It is controlling the people so that the people are doing the right things. Let us move on to the next part of human resources. Right. We are going to be looking at the quality assurance process using key performance indicators. Remember, I said quality is to ensure that there are no flaws. And key performance indicators, I said, it is those little things that you will see that the people in the HR department are doing their best. Right. What are those things? The quality of the human resources will have an impact, remember that word, will have an impact in the running of a business. In other words, it will show whether a business is on the right track or not on the right track. Now, how do we see that? We will know that when we have people who are qualified, who are doing their job, when they are supposed to be doing it, and they produce the best results. It can be in a service production, in a service giving organization, or in a production company. Those people should do what they are supposed to do when they are supposed to do it. Our HR, if they are not skilled, they are going to bring the business down. I want you to think about the other word, which is bankruptcy. What is that? The word bankrupt simply means that the business is not getting what it is supposed to be getting in terms of profits. Therefore, they are not making enough money. As a result, the business might end up closing down. Now, you see, it is very important that when we select people who are going to work within a business organization, it should be people who know their job. It should be people who love their job. It should be people who are good at what they are doing. But what is it that the business must also do? It must also develop continuously, ongoing, the skills of the people who are employed within an organization, from the highest ranking manager to the lowest employed employee, so that everybody can do their job to the best of their ability. Placing people within an organization, placements, in other words, after we have employed them, we must put them in places where they are going to excel. When they excel, that is when they give the organization the best output. Now, those are the little things that will tell us that the organization's human resource is doing its best. But if they are doing the opposite of that, then it means the organization will work at a loss in the long run. Let us proceed. We said we also have the production function. What is a production function? Remember, I said it is that function that is responsible for producing goods. But you ask yourself, what happens in an organization where goods are not produced? Still, we need people there who are going to render a service that will give again clients value for their money. Now, how do we know that the people in the production function are doing their job to the best of their ability? Again, we are looking at the key performance indicators within the business function and the impact that that will have in a business that is sustainable. Okay. In key performance indicators of the quality production are the following: producing goods that are of good quality, very good quality, but at a lower cost. Not to give poor quality goods, good quality, but producing them at a minimal cost. In other words, to spend less to produce more. It means that the people in the production function must be skilled. They must be knowing what they are doing so that they avoid defects. What are defects? Those are flaws in what they are producing. Let us take a clothing manufacturing factory for an example. Defects would mean if you were meant to produce 10 units and you are able to produce exactly the 10 or even more, then it means you've got the right people using the resources effectively. But if you are meant to produce 10 units and you produce 5 with the same amount of money, then it means you are not doing well. It means then that has a negative impact in the running of a business. So at all times, the people in the production department have to ensure that they are doing their best by producing more with less, using quality machinery. Machinery which is serviced from time to time to ensure that the business gets out the best out of the inputs. Now, what are the things, the key performance indicators that will show us that the business function is running optimally? We will see less damages. We will see safety measures being adhered to. There won't be any claims. People will not be getting hurt, and there will be quality control at all times. Measures that are put in place to control what is being done and how it is being done. The flip side of that, the negative side of it, the negative impact in the quality in the production function will then begin by saying, yes, I can see, you have guessed it. People might get hurt while using the machines, which is wrong. People might have a lot of defects in what they are producing that is going to cost the business a lot of money. Therefore, it is very important that those skilled people that we have hired in the production department are doing their best with what they have been given, doing their best with the resources so that the output is more. Let us move on. It is very important that the clients, the consumers, the customers are satisfied with what they are doing. Therefore, at the end of the day, the goods that have been produced must be satisfactory to the end users, to the receivers of the service as well. Administration, what is that? It is the hub of the business. This is where all the details about placing orders, about communicating with all the stakeholders, everything is kept. Do we still keep receipts in receipts books? Well, small businesses might still do, but bigger businesses do not do that anymore. They adhere to 21st century compliant gadgets. They use computers, up-to-date computers. They use systems, internet systems that will allow them to communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world at any time. Now, in the administrative function, if they don't use that, obviously, they might fall behind. And if they fall behind, it means that the business will not make the profits. Are you with me on that one? Now, how do we know that the administrative function is functioning optimally? The key performance indicators. Do you still remember that? Right. Key performance indicators in this will be: good administration would be applying technology efficiently, handling of complaints in a professional and a dignified manner so that those who are bringing forth the complaints can feel that the business also care about them. Right, efficient capturing of data. Remember, figures in business are everything. You cannot afford to record 100 as 1,000. That can cost business a lot. Therefore, the administrative personnel must make sure that they are accurate. Accurate. What does that mean? It means correct. They are correctly recording figures where there is a need. And there should be information that is speedily available to the management. Remember, we talked about management, for them to can make decisions regarding the running of a business. Therefore, they need to keep information and ensure that it is available at a split of a second to the management wherever there is a need, which means that, remember, technology must be up to date. The positive impact will therefore ensure that the business will run as it has been planned to run for. What is that? What do we mean by that? That is, the strategies that they put in place to run a business are actually realized. The means that are put in place to run a business are actually realized. The business is run according to a set or a predetermined plan. What is the flip side of that? The negative impact in that. The negative impact would be unreliable data. Unreliable data. Remember, when we talk about data in business, it doesn't only refer to data as you know it when you buy it and use it on your smartphone. No, this is information. Therefore, there has to be information that is correct, accurate, and reliable at all times. Misleading information can result in business going bankrupt. Misleading information can result in business going under. Those are the synonyms. If we say a business is bankrupt, if we say a business is going under, this is when a business is not reaching its goals. And as a result, it is dying. Therefore, it is very important that we know that and then we try and avert that. What is to avert? To avert, it is to try and prevent or come up with measures that will make sure that the flaws are not there as far as a particular business function is concerned. And it is of utmost importance that there is availability of resources such as stock at all times. If the administrative function is not functioning well, things such as the availability of stock, the appointments of clients can bring disrepute and can bring dissatisfaction by the clients, by the customers, because they are not getting value for their money. Therefore, it is very, very important to ensure that this department functions very well. It functions optimally. Let us move on. We are now moving on to a very important aspect in our teaching and in our lessons. Assessment. What is assessment? Assessment, it is that part where the teachers actually now are looking at feedback from you as students. Assessment, we check whether we have attained our objectives. We check whether you understood the lessons. What sort of measures are put in place to conduct an assessment? It differs from subject to subject. In business studies, there are several ways. Which are those ways? There are short objective questions. You're true or false, you choose the correct word. It's either you know it or you don't. Therefore, it's very important to study so that you can score marks in the objective questions. And usually, the objective questions are found on section A of the question paper. Then we move on to section B of the question paper. That is now at the end of the term or at the end of the year. Our paper will also have now scenarios or case studies. What is the difference between a scenario and a case study? You wonder if you are in grade 10. Well, the difference is a scenario is a created story so that we want to test your understanding of a particular concept. But a case study, it is a well-researched story about a particular concept that will also serve to test your knowledge of a particular concept. It is very important that you understand these contents so that you are able to respond to the case studies and the scenarios. Remember, it's not a yes and no type of a situation, but it is a type of a situation that should always be supported by facts. What are those facts? The facts that you have learned in your textbooks. We also have short discussions. You are asked questions, then you are expected to discuss a particular aspect. And then we've got essays. These fall in section C of our question paper, and they are out of 40 marks. Very long, but very easy to obtain marks in essays. Well, let me put this in action so that you can see basically what am I referring to? What am I talking about? You may find questions, as I indicated earlier, such as true or false. That will be in section A. You have an understanding now. Or where you have to mix and match. There are mix and match questions. You have to find a concept and a relevant sentence that matches. Then we move on to section B. Section B, very crucial. Every time, read the sentence and look at the mark allocation. You see the first one. It says list any 3 business functions for 3 marks. What does that tell you to do? You have to give a list of 3 aspects, then you will get your 3 marks. Explain. That is our number 2. Look at explain, read that entire sentence, and then look at the mark allocation. Explain 2 key performance indicators. Remember what key performance indicators are. Those things that tell you that a particular business function is being managed effectively or optimally, or it is working at its best. Now, in this case, we are looking at human resources and administration for 2 marks. In other words, you have to give an explanation of the key performance indicators, 1 in human resources and then 2 in the administration function. Let's move to the third one, describe. What are you expected to do when we say describe? More or less you might think it's more like explain, but no, you have to give more details as compared to the previous one. Details, for an example, describe the impact of the quality of performance within the business, within the production function itself. Now, in this case, we opted for the production function. You look at the good KPIs, key performance indicators, and the negative KPIs, key performance indicators, and then you give a detailed description. In other words, you are going to explain deeply in detail factors that will tell you that the production function is running well or it is not running well. But the moment you see the word impact, remember, you have to give the negatives and the positives. Lastly, let me tell you about the essay. I know in grade 10, it might be the first time you write a 40-mark essay. It is not the monster that people tell you it is. In most cases, you will be given a particular scenario, very short scenario, and that scenario will then give you the instructions of what it is that you are supposed to do. Always remember, your essay needs to have an introduction, and you must literally write the word introduction, so that you can get marks for that. Yes, there are marks for that. And then you must give us a short introduction. Then you start with your discussion. Your discussion should have the subheadings. Where do you get the subheadings from? You will get them from the question. So each and every time you discuss something under a particular subheading, write the subheading and then write your discussion in detail. And then lastly, you have to do a conclusion. You have to close off your argument or your discussion. You literally also have to write the word conclusion, and then you write a short closing statement of about 2 lines, and that is how you are expected to write an essay in business studies. So it is very important, grade 10s, that you study these day by day, shorter pieces that will enable you to be able to write an essay at the end of the day about all the facts in relation to quality within the business function. Thank you very much for listening.